Hey guys, Tara here, bringing you a 1v1 today. We are on Kholodny Ferma Winter. Playing for today, spawning on the left, we have RoyalHants, the COH2 player, and his loadout is Lightning War, Mobile Defense, and Jaeger Infantry. Myself against him on the right hand side, we have VonIvan as the Soviets, straight away locking in guard rifle combined arms. RoyalHants, haven't cast him for a while. I think he's somewhere in the 20s. He's off there. VonIvan actually ranks 6 currently as Soviets, so he's fallen off from those days where he was constantly number 1, but I think he's been focusing a bit more on his axis, which could explain it a little bit. There was a really small patch the other day, which actually invalidated all the replays, so I couldn't cast one yesterday, so explains the absence of a cast recently. Just a micro patch prevented me from casting one earlier, and honestly there haven't been that many replays uploaded. There were quite a lot of replays available from before the micro patch, but since the micro patch I don't think there'd been a single one uploaded in a whole day basically. So this is actually a live match going on right now, live observed. Oh man, can't talk properly. Pretty standard stuff here. We've got RoyalHants just leaving his machine gun in this building in the middle. Very punishing if you lose control of this early. Also, prevents flanks through here. As long as he's got squads defending this building. Pretty safe way to play. But it has meant that VonIvan has ended up capturing a lot more territory than he has. You have to play this defensively with one of your units and can't use it capping territory sectors.
This is a nice spot of land, and it is ours.
VonIvan got a lot of troops down here in the south. Building 4th conscript. Pretty standard stuff so far. Looks like he wants to make a push into the center. Not sure if he knows the machine guns here. I don't know if he heard the windows break through the fog of war or not. Looks like he's going to charge in. Coming from 2 angles here. Slight misplay from him. Oh no. Okay, I didn't notice he's upgrading the flamethrower. That just popped now. So I wanted to send the conscripts first, soak the suppression, then hopefully bring in flamethrower to clear the machine gun out of the building, but didn't quite work out. Good reactions by RoyalHants, and he's actually making a push onto the cutoff. It's not going to be successful though. A lot of troops nearby. Probably going to merge in here to his combat engineers. Yep, nice work by VonIvan. Just keep that flamethrower on the field. Conscripts I think are actually cheaper to reinforce as well than combat engineers. That makes sense. VonIvan now engaging up here in the north. Going for the wipe here on these grenadiers on the retreat. Oh, and he gets it! Thought it was going to get away, but he just picked it off long range. Interesting to see RoyalHants going for the mortar here. That is not what I would be building right now. It's this many conscripts. I would not be making a mortar static. It's more suited to fighting machine guns. He's already got the flamethrower, so he can deal with garrisons. I feel like this mortar's a bit unnecessary. And looks even worse now, of course, that he's lost those grenadiers, but you can't really be blamed for that too much. He's actually teched up, gone for tier 2. So he's for a slightly different build. Quite often you'll see players go for maybe one more One more unit goes straight for tier 3, but he's going for tier 2, and the 222 is actually quite strong these days. Mortar coming really far forwards. He's trying to use it aggressively. VonIvan, on the other hand, has gone for 5 conscripts. That is a large army. I'll try and fight it out with them here, but flamethrower coming, forcing him out of the building. It's looking grim for RoyalHants here. Pops off a rifle grenade, dodged by VonIvan, and squad cutting it close on the retreat as well. VonIvan looks like he's about to take control of the map. He's putting down some wire, but generally it's not that strong putting down wire on sandbags. It doesn't seem to work very well, especially on this. Maybe if you put it like right on the very edge, it would be possible, but that positioning doesn't really deny the cover at all. Here comes 222 though. Remember, this received buffs. Its machine gun fire accuracy increased. No longer creates light cover craters. So those two factors combined mean it's actually doing way more damage than it used to. Doesn't feel... Oh, but he picks it off. Doesn't feel safe chasing any further, but he gets the kill long range. Lucky pick up there for Hunts, but he chased just the right amount. VonIvan's ticked into tank grenades. It looks like he's going to get one off here, perhaps. Doesn't have Ura, but doesn't matter. He managed to get close enough anyway. See, this is the situations where the 222 now excels. Firing a squad like this previously would create light cover, meaning that squad would end up taking less damage, but now that it no longer does that, it actually does quite a lot of damage with its machine guns. Hunt's making the bunker, this squad very low on health, no real point bringing it out, it's just going to drop models instantly. Not going to contribute much to a fight, but VonIvan actually rebuilding a squad of conscripts after losing that squad. And we did see this kind of strategy popularized by a few players. Saw it from Maxi, I think he was the main starters, but I think DVM also quite fond of this 5 conscript build. What we needed to see from Hunts was really a second machine gun instead of the mortar. Much stronger. We saw Barton actually counter the strategy by using many machine guns as OKW. On this very map, from the other spawn. Destroying the cover there. Just closing in. Get the AT grenade off. Backing away with the 222 here, but I think that's mainly because he's worried about maybe a conscript sneaking up, and then 2 more anti-tank grenades probably spells the end of the 222, so he's playing cautiously with it. He's gone for a second one, in fact. I think this is actually probably a pretty good idea. With 2 of them, you can actually fight the T-70 quite effectively. So he's making the most out of his tier 2 construction. And remember, the 222 now also costs 50 less manpower. This is not as expensive as it used to be. Hunt's fighting back. He's gone for a lightning war. Trying to get some G43s. He's going to be up against PPSH conscripts though, so it's a pretty hard fight generally for G43, or just for any squad really. 6 conscripts, even though they cost a little bit more now, it's still very, very strong. I think VonIvan actually only had this one commander equipped. Signifying his intent, which is to practice. I think he's basically committed now to playing guard rifle combined arms and mobile defense only in GCS2. Oh no! Jumped in the building. It's detonated by that demo charge that has been there for quite a long time. Loses his flamethrower engineers. So getting forced away on this side by this large army from VonIvan. VonIvan's actually floating a tremendous amount of resources right now. Perhaps he's seen the double 222 deciding, oh, it's not really worth me getting T70. And I think he's right in this case. Probably better to go straight for the T34, but because he's only got one engineer and he's using it on the battlefield right now, he should probably have retreated this and just be using it for tech. Teched up now, got out a fast T34. Do a lot of damage to these 222s. Pretty much make them irrelevant. As it is now, they're doing a lot of work. He's actually going for the Zis. This is a mistake. Remember, there is some water on the field already. The T-34 is the right response here. Once catches the squad out on negative cover. I still think the G43s are going to lose though. Despite catching them on negative cover and having the vet advantage.
The enemy is taking our territory.
This is the kind of control you can get from using multiple 222s. And cover so much territory.
We are losing territory.
And just force away squads all over the map. I think double 222 is actually a very strong strategy this patch. I don't think we've seen the limits of it yet. You got to be careful though. Generally around this timing, or much earlier than this, starting from around 9 minutes, you want to be using both your 222s together, because if they did get a T70, you need both your 222s together to actually fight it off. Oh, and he gets another wipe with these 222s. Otherwise, if the T70 runs into one of them alone, very good chance he'll get the wipe. Oh, good retreat there. But the 222s, you can see that doing a lot of damage to these conscripts, just continuously kiting them, forcing them away. And you see how much more damage they do now that they're not creating the light cover craters and their machine guns are stronger at long range. It really makes a large difference. So this actually connects with one of them, but he gets out of the arc in the nick of time. Not going to get the killing blow. And Hart's hanging in there. He's maintained control of the central VP for almost the entire map, so he's not actually that far behind in VPs despite his rather poor start to the match. And now the 222 is actually going after the Zis. Could overturn it here. And this is why the Zis was a questionable call. Just not very mobile. And Hunt's exploiting that lack of mobility here by clearing out with, as soon as it lost its conscript support and there was no threat of the anti-tank grenades. Looks like he's going to try kill it actually. He already got a pack, decides he doesn't need it. Conscript's uraying up, trying to regather it. It looks like he's cancelled killing it. Could he be punished for it? He's coming out with a tactical movement here, trying to rush his pioneers in to be able to steal it. It's going to be a bit of a fight for it here. But these 222s just shredding the incoming grenadiers, incoming PPSH conscripts. Look how much damage he's done. He's prevented the recapture of it. Basically on the strength of these alone. VonIvan actually going for the KV-1 here, which I think is a mistake. think he should be getting the T-34. It's just faster. And because it's faster, we'll have the opportunity to chase down and kill these 222s. Good support play here from Hunt, bringing his pack up. It's 2 hits in on the KV-1. KV-1 going after this anti-tank gun, wants to stop it from being overturned. No grenadiers nearby for the Faust, so KV-1 outmaneuvering these anti-tank guns. I think maybe Hunt should just try and cut his losses here, and it looks like he's going to do exactly that. Try and run his pack away. Building another pack, recognizing the fact he's probably going to lose this one. VonIvan switches targets to the machine gun. He's not chasing in with his KV-1 here. Oh, clears out the machine gun. Quite a safe position on it still though. Probably going to be overlooked by this machine gun if he switches the facing on it. But he might still be able to steal it. The squad might be able to steal it before they get suppressed. Oh, Faust and Pack firing on it. Everyone bouncing that though. Incendiary rounds and a grenade stops the steal. Now Hunt's going to try to take it back. KV-1 just so slow here. Main gun destroyed. 222's coming in now that the main gun is destroyed. This is there for the defense though. If the 222's get onto the rear armor of the KV-1, they can kill it. Pack trying to get a shot on. Oh, one more shot and the KV-1 is down. KV-1's so slow turning that corner with the engine damage. This gets cleared out and here comes the 222 going in for the kill. Gonna try to get on its rear armor. And there goes the KV-1. That's exactly what I was talking about. The KV-1 just too slow to deal with these 222s. That was the T-34 with its faster move speed wouldn't have been taking those shots from the packs that were chasing it down. So now RoyalHants got 3 anti-tank guns, which means it's basically a horrible idea for VonIvan to be building KV-1 right now. But he's doing it anyway. He should probably be looking to maybe build a machine gun and a Katyusha. Maybe a T-34 as well. I think, yeah, probably T-34, machine gun and Katyusha. That's what will be on my build list as VonIvan. T-34 still because it can rotate between sides and actually fight off the 222s effectively wherever they go. Machine gun to try hold on to the VPs and stall for the eventual Katyusha to deal with all these support weapons. VonIvan go for another KV-1 though. These 222s have been doing such good damage. 20 kills on this, 19 on the other. You would have never seen that from the old 222. KV-1 misses both its shots to kill there. And it's feeling at risk of getting a Faust. He's going for the crush on the building. Nearly kills it. VonIvan still in control of a huge amount of territory. Feels like Hunt's has got the larger army now, and he does. Look at that, 70 supply to VonIvan's 44. VonIvan going for the T-70. Still think the T-34 will be the better choice of the T-70 at this point. The resource costs are quite similar. Oh, nice wipe there, nice rifle grenade. Hunt's taking control of this match now. VonIvan getting a bit careless, but yeah, T-34, T-70 also I think not as good as the T-34 in this situation because T-70 will have trouble against both the 222s. They have enough anti-tank where the T-70 can't just run in there carefree and force them away, whereas the T-34 could, and it also kills them in 2 hits, survive more shots from the massive amount of anti-tank guns. So I think VonIvan's strategy here not quite so good. More flare going down there.
Our territory is falling into enemy hands.
Back in position to force away the KV. VonIvan only got 1 squad of combat engineers as well for repairs, and no, conscript repairs or vehicle crew repairs in this commander. So it's got to be
Infantry squad has been killed.
Grenadiers. Got to be careful about taking too much damage on his vehicles, because repairs on them will be slow. Even though this is a Vet 2 squad, it's now going to have 3 vehicles to repair, so probably going to be stretched quite thin. This point for Hunts, I think, trying to contest the southern point is just stretching himself too thin, so try and hold on to the centre and the north. Much easier for him to contest those two. Much safer as well against T-70s, which can chase you down on those long retreat paths and wipe your squads quite easily. P4 coming in for Hunts is teched up. Only got the Panzer IV coming out. I do wonder though if maybe that just going straight for the Tiger would have been a better call in this situation. Just about there. I suppose by teching did increase his command point clock a little bit.
Enemy has killed a machine gun crew.
VonIvan coming in here activates IL-2s, which no longer do as much damage as I used to remember. But VonIvan in here doing some damage. He's packing away at the KV-1. KV-1 could go down here. T-70 in here flanking the ZIS as well. In comes the Panzer IV though. Runs into the pack. Oh, but the KV-1 goes down. Pack also gets decrewed. VonIvan crews the other ZIS. 222's coming in support, trying to clear this out as quickly as possible. And this push, a bit of a disaster here for VonIvan. Packs are decrewed, but they're in a position where Hunts can recrew them. I think the IL-2 planes actually got shot down perhaps by the 222s, which do have decent anti-aircraft capabilities. So the IL-2 not that effective against the double 222 strategy. One of the most deep and close to VonIvan's territory anti-tank gun has been regathered, denying that to VonIvan. So all in all, a pretty horrible push there from VonIvan. Lost his KV-1 and a T-70. I don't know if he lost the conscript squad in that engagement or not, or if he lost that before. I can't remember exactly, but either way it went pretty awfully for Von. I feel like he should have, when I said he should have gone for the Katyusha, that's the point where you need to settle into a longer game, and it seemed like VonIvan was unwilling to attempt it. 222 still alive and still doing crazy damage to all these squads that are pushing in recklessly from VonIvan. T-70 on recon mode, providing some nice line of sight. This misses the shot there though. T-70's gonna survive. And Pack opening up on the T-70, forcing that back. Kholodny coming back in for a couple more cheeky hits, realizing he's More than one shot from death, and T-70 goes down to the advancing pack. Nice support play there from Hunt, bringing it up. And now VonIvan, look at it, he's at 26 supply to Hunt's 69. This is a disaster for Von.
Nice spot of land, and it is ours.
Like, when you're playing in these situations, and when your opponent has so many team weapons, so many, sure, you can often win games by being super aggressive, just flanking them and overwhelming them, and just winning through superior micro and outpositioning them. But it is far easier to just play slightly more defensively and use the fact that their army is fully loaded with support weapons against them by going for rocket artillery. It's just an easier game plan to execute. VonIvan really wants to steal this. And looks like he might actually... No. G43 Grenadiers on the hunt. Chase them down and kill it. Could kill it now with his Zis that's right in front of it. VonIvan calling in the R2s again. Just targeting this pack, which is out there on negative cover. Doesn't wipe it though. 222s will switch to the anti-aircraft duties. Shoot down one of them. And the other one. And there you get to see the, they're not as good as most other dedicated anti-aircraft units, but they're actually, like, when you get two of them, the 222 is actually pretty reasonable against planes. Clears out that Zis. Should open the door for his Panzer IV to come in and do some damage, which is back to full health. But I'm trying to recruit the Zis that's deep into the neutral territory. Oh, was there a squad inside that building? Might have been. KV-1 coming in. Fresh KV-1. 222 out in here. Between these two anti-tank guns. KV-1 a bit too slow to catch it. Good micro here by RoyalHants, outmaneuvering these two anti-tank guns. They're both dead now. VonIvan, he's still in this match despite having an army that's almost a third as large as Hunt's, but he's got to realize his position here, that he just like sits back, plays a bit more defensively, rebuild his army, because look at how much more manpower he's getting in than RoyalHants. Use the COH2's built-in comeback mechanism, which is the larger your army is, the more manpower upkeep it requires.
We are losing supplies to the enemy.
Just grind his way back into this game. We did see the Panzer IV go down in that engagement, so I guess that's a consolation prize for VonIvan after losing both those Zis. KV-1 will be better at... Oh my god, KV-1 misses that. I think that would have been the killing blow on the 222 as well. And VonIvan loses his combat engineers, so no repairs. KV-1 in a dangerous position as well. Has rear armor exposed there briefly. Packs moving their way up to the north to where the KV-1 is. KV1. Got to be using it smartly here. Trying to hide it behind this destroyed building. Avoid shots from these anti-tank guns. Because of course repairs on this will be tremendously slow. Going for another KV1 now. For repairs, before reinforcing his squads. Wants to keep the aggression on.
We are as ready as we can be. The enemy is taking what
So
we
we'll have an armor advantage over Hunts, and Hunts hasn't had very good territory control, so doesn't actually have much fuel spare for another tank, so that's going to be VonIvan's saving grace. If Hunts had enough fuel to right now build a Stug,
sector has been cut off.
shut down these KV1s, VonIvan will be in a lot of trouble. Oh, these 222s doing 34 kills and 30 each. So as you can see, I mean, Hunts has been quite lucky. They've both evaded kill by just lucky misses from AT guns and from tanks. But you can just see how much stronger they are now. So much stronger than they used to be, the 222. Definitely makes it appealing going for tier 2 now. Oh,
A squad of infantry has been
there you
killed.
go, those conscripts.
Retreat.
There's a lot of machine guns here. Just two coming forwards, providing some sight. KV1 gets main gun destroyed. The Panzer IV is going to be able to come in and clean this up now. VonIvan just being so aggressive, despite having an army that is literally a third as large as RoyalHants. He just continues to be aggressive, which is helping him hold on to territory, but not allowing him to rebuild his army and actually form an army that's large enough to win the game.
Enemy forces are capturing our supplies. AT gun is ready for combat.
Situations like this, when AT guns at, you know, quite high models, still 3 models, but about a third health. So this is a situation where I think it's quite good to use medic kits on your vetted up squads. 15 munitions. Saves you the trouble of having to retreat them to base, heal them up, reinforce them, and then bring them back out. It's a worthwhile price to pay if you really need to keep your team weapon in position, which I think it doesn't desperately need to do now, but I think it still would be quite nice. The bunker gets killed there by the KV1, VonIvan finding a angle of opportunity. BP's still very close to even. VonIvan still has a long time to rebuild his army, get himself back in this match. Also has enough munitions for an IL-2, which is going to allow him to hold on to territory for a bit longer here. But remember, he's up against double 222s, Pintle. Might upgrade a Pintle on this as well, because it's so cheap you might as well do it. There's going to be a lot of anti-aircraft. I'm going to shoot down these planes really quickly. If they're allowed to, that is. If they're engaged in combat, you have to shoot units instead of the planes. Planes can actually do some damage then, but VonIvan doesn't really have a large enough army to even threaten that. To even threaten units to keep these engaged in combat. He's going for the Katyusha now. I mean, way overdue. Should have done this about 10 minutes ago. But right play. The problem is that he doesn't have engineers right now. Really needs them to put down mines. Just to mine off all the angles of attack. Stop those 222s from diving on the Katyusha and killing it. dead. It looks like he's going to reposition his units, make sure that they're defending the Katyusha from a incoming assault. You have the Stug from Hans. He's also gone for some Panzer Grenadiers with the Shreks. This is a big mistake. Very, very big mistake from Hans. Getting the Panzer Grenadier Shreks here. Already has 3 anti-tank guns in a Stug. That's enough anti-tank. Needs the anti-infantry to stop these PPSH conscripts. Here comes the Katyusha now. Laying down in this position, looking to clear out some of these team weapons here. Doesn't get too much on this first barrage. Just 1 kill. And come the Shreks though, coming forwards.
That gun is ready for action.
The thing about the Shreks is that they're not very strong against the KV-1's armor. Is this going for the barrage? 222's diving in here. This gets decrewed. There's another Zis though from VonIvan coming out onto the battlefield now. KV-1's got to avoid taking damage from the Stug. And trading blows here. Remember the Stug has a low rate of fire now. Not quite as lethal as it used to be. So this gets destroyed. And come the PPSH conscripts forcing away Panzer Grenadiers. And there's this. It's going to stop this push from coming forwards any further. But yeah, I feel like VonIvan already had, Hunts rather, had enough anti-tank. And, you know, once Panzer Grenadiers get Vet 2, Vet 3, they can actually fight the PPSH conscripts. So I thought he's trying to achieve that. Like now he's a little bit over-invested in anti-tank. Keeping use that bay. Looks like he's targeting this. No, targeting deep in enemy territory. Actually, yeah, pretty good scatter that first barrage. Got a couple, 2 more models. Did a little bit of damage to these vehicles, which does give you quite a lot of veterancy. And Hart's pretty much at a supply limit. Needs to rebuild his medic bunker though. He's been a bit slow in doing. So quite low on munitions. Might consider building a munitions cache right now when he's at his limit. Got a bit of manpower floating. It's a good time to put down a munitions cache. Try save for that super close air support, which could be very useful in these engagements. Just generally also give him more free access to firing Panzerfausts and grenades as well. Pop that down here. That would be quite a good investment. That's playing very defensively and kind of has to because he's, got so many team weapons. They're not very good at being aggressive and advancing, but they are very good at defending these points. Let's just come through and hit the dirt. Doesn't switch targets on the machine gun, allowing this other squad of conscripts to sneak past. Machine gun packs up, didn't need to. Has so much here, could have just didn't need to reset up his machine gun. Now it's going to get decrewed. He's calling in the RL2s. Good timing for VonIvan. He's getting aggressive. 2 KVs coming in. Needs to get a Faust on this. Doesn't have any munitions. Oh, he does. He gets the Faust off. There's this behind that. One of the anti-tank guys looks like it's going to be decrewed. Stug coming through the middle. 222's chasing down the Zis. P4 coming in to fight as well. 222's trying to avoid the Zis and the KV-1. KV-1 knocks out one of the 222s. P4 and KV1 duking it out here. Could be quite a close fight. Oh, KV1 gets a rear armor hit. P4 one shot from death and he gets the killing blow. Finally gets the penetrating hit. KV1 also goes down. This is there. Can the Stug outmaneuver this anti-tank gun? Good micro on it, going up to the north. Avoiding the AT gun positioning there. Can he get the kill? Attack ground? No, not quite. Katyusha barrage into this. Clears out the other 222. And gets the machine gun as well. Nice Katyusha barrage there. Oh, we could get this. But still, that push went really well for VonIvan, I think. All things considered. One Grenadier down. Both the 222s dead, which means the IL-2s in the future are going to be more effective. Cleared out a lot of support weapons as well. Inflict a lot of damage to Hunts. You know, he was at like 95 before, now he's at 65. So a very damaging attack from VonIvan. Good way to start getting back on track. And I think, you know, part of the reason was because these Panzer Grenadiers didn't really contribute much in that fight. Now he's really lacking repairs. Got this 3-man power squad on repairs at the moment. Needs to get more. Probably needs 3 pioneers with this many tanks. VonIvan going for a second Zis. Knows he's going to be up against quite a lot of tanks from Hunts. Hunt's going for a neutralizer on all this territory. VonIvan is a bit low in resources. Got enough for one more KV1 basically. Couple more, few more seconds time, and kind of has to go for the KV1 at this point, because if he's going to be outnumbered like 2 or 3 to 1 in terms of vehicles, like medium tanks, T-34 at this stage is just no good, because of course those 2s are now dead, so it doesn't really need the extra mobility of the T-34. Just needs the extra armor and health of the KV1 to soak up the damage when he's so badly outgunned. So VonIvan managed to steal away an MG here as well. This barrage from Hunts. Katyusha coming in as well. Targeting this machine gun. Not getting too lucky on the scatter, and a Zis barrage in return from Von. Double Zis barrage in fact. Panzer IV doing some risky stuff here. Trying to flank around these anti-tank guns. Can he out-micro these 2 Zis guns from Von? Managed to take one hit. Flak Panzer's coming in, but he's got engine damage coming in very slowly. Can't really contribute much in this fight. P4 could go down here. P4 needed to stay on top of these anti-tank guns. Trying to run away like this, not going to be successful. And that's going to be the end of the P4, but will this be the end of the Flak Panzer as well? That's the real question. Just a horrible play from Hunts. In those situations where 2 anti-tank guns are really close to each other, and you've got an engine damaged tank on top of them, you just have to stay on top of them. Trying to run away like that just allows them to set up and kill your tank. I know it's very stressful, because at any time if the enemy's vehicle comes along, they could just destroy your tank with the vehicle, but I mean, you take that chance over the guaranteed situation. Oh man, nice barrage by VonIvan, clearing out that Grenadier. And look at this now. Hunts has basically no infantry. VonIvan still has 2 Vet 3 PPSH conscripts. RoyalHants has all these anti-tank guns, which, you know, can be helpful in holding the center, but he just doesn't have enough anti-infantry right now to deal with these PPSH conscripts. That's another Katyusha barrage. Targeting the exact same area, actually wipes the pioneers. So Hants has been suffering a lot of casualties, and VonIvan make this comeback. This is why, you know, Panzergrenadier is now just not really much use. Oh, good grenade. He does lots of damage with that grenade. Good grenade, like right into the advancing path of VonIvan. Yeah, against the KV-1 that is not that strong. KV-1 has so much health and armor, Panzerschreck's not quite enough in this situation. That gets one shot off. Oh, and the other one, it's another hit. Both these quite low, really needs to reinforce and heal them. Looks like he's going to do it with this. Panzer over here, hiding behind the church. Could take engine damage here. No. Looks like this just didn't get a shot off on it before the AT grenade connected. Oh, model inside the capping circle got killed. Manages to get the neutralize. He's still got control of this mortar, so should be barraging the hell out of this area. But remember, the mortar is not quite as good these days against units out in open ground. And now these PPSH conscripts is running at these team weapons, which, with no machine gun nearby, are completely helpless. Panzer in here trying to do some damage. Two Zis here though, and the pack. Oh, this looks like a horrible maneuver. He's running in with his P4, but gets main gun destroyed, and it's gonna go down. KV-1 coming in now. Flak Panzer goes down. Somehow the Zis actually kills this. There goes Panzer 4, and all of a sudden, VonIvan back in control of this match. He's got the larger army now. He's in a good position to take control of the match. It's Katyusha finally starting to vet up. And Hart's just throwing this match away. Really is just throwing it away. Still coming forwards, but oh, this is there. This took a heavy mortar shell though. Strug can't chase, however. It just doesn't have any infantry support to, you know, provide sight, force away the enemy squads which threaten the anti-tank grenades. Looks like VonIvan's going to make away with one of these Zis as well. So his army's getting larger, Hunt's is getting smaller. T-grenade connects with the Strug now. T-grenade's managed to clear out the Zis, but it's still in VonIvan's territory, so he's probably going to be able to regather it. And the PPSH conscripts bullying the Shrek squad. Honestly, I think that Shrek squad was just an awful idea. Yet the regular P-greens, I think it would have been so much better so far. Just hasn't contributed much in terms of anti-tank, and every time it's just running into PPSH squads and getting overwhelmed. Just had more firepower, would have been quite good. And Vet too, you know, these grenadiers are quite strong. So Huts Still not out of this by any means. He's got the VP lead. His army size is not that far behind, really, because he's got the Panzer IV nearly completed construction. Just his army composition, I don't think is that effective here. VonIvan's Katyusha is going to be so strong against these team weapons. He's targeting this machine gun and he clears it out with a pretty close range barrage. What I was saying earlier about why the Katyusha would have been so nice if he'd made it at the 26th minute or whatever. Against all these team weapons. Still holds true now at the 51st minute. Still Hudson control the VPs. Von draining out slowly here. And army size is pretty much dead even at this point. VonIvan still has those 2 Vet 3 PPSH conscripts, so these are so deadly. If Hunts's machine guns, you know, have to retreat or get packed up, and they can't suppress these can do just so much damage. Force away the AT guns, allow VonIvan to make an aggressive push. This barrage doing a good job forcing back that machine gun. VonIvan though has finally used up his munition stores, so no IL-2s for this attack. Conscripts coming forwards. Machine guns in good positions to stop this, but Katyusha just about ready to fire. Perhaps VonIvan should have waited until this was ready to fire before making this assault. So he could apply a little bit more pressure to the machine guns. Looks like this machine gun actually caught the other one though in its fire. And this moving up, VonIvan making a nice slow assault here, and Katyusha finally ready to fire, is targeting this machine gun in the north. If he clears it out, that would be a disaster for Hudson. He does. Machine gun goes down. VonIvan capturing territory in the middle. This Flamer squad out here trying to do its best, but it's just not enough. One flamethrower cannot clear an entire army. And oh my god, a disaster there. Stug goes down to a conscript which picked up a Shrek, and looks like Hans calls it there. Oh man. So, just you know, Hans I think adapted well to his bad start. Going for the double 222 is very effective. Then VonIvan kind of foolishly, you know, went for the Zis. I think taking up, going for a fast T-34 would have been probably the best way to shut down the double 222 with his resource lead. But, you know, maybe just making Su-76, trying to pick them off at long range as well would have been a better choice. And because of that, allowed Hunts back in the game. Hunts had a huge lead, but just VonIvan making some, you know, good use of his anti-tank guns, out positioning Hunt's poor vehicle micro, and just, yeah, bad engagement decisions. Also, this Shrek squad was just such a bad idea, just so bad. Imagine if this had just full SDGs, it would have been so much better against those PPSH conscripts, which were just so devastating every time they came forwards. Well, good match though, and glad that I could get a good one despite there being no replays around. Well, I'll wrap on that, guys. If you like your game to be cast by me, details in the video description below. Otherwise, I'll catch you off the next thrilling installment. Goodbye and good luck.